They were not a kingdom's army, nor bound by oath to any crown. They belonged to no banner but their own. And yet emperors whispered their name in times of desperation. The Raven Warriors. They came when wars tipped toward ruin, when borders collapsed, when thrones trembled, when entire legions faltered against the tide.
Soon, old
For
friend.
a price, they would ride.
One more
And
time.
when they did, the course of battle bent around them. From a distance they appeared as a single unnatural shadow sweeping across the land. 3,500 riders cloaked head to heel in black, their forms blurred beneath hooded robes woven with raven feathers. Even their horses bore the same darkness, manes braided, armor lacquered, saddles and reins stripped of all color. No glint of individuality, no break in their unity, just a mass of black, moving as one. There were no horns to announce them, no banners to declare allegiance, only the low, unsettling drone of feathers brushing against one another, a sound like wings in a storm, growing louder as they approached, and then, without warning, they charged. No command was given, no signal seen. Yet every rider moved in perfect accord as if driven by a single will. They surged forward at full gallop, the ground trembling beneath them. Hussar lances leveled as one, sabers drawn, pistols resting at their waists for the moment the distance closed. To face them was to face inevitability. The first wave struck, like a spear cast by the earth itself. Lances drove forward, piercing through the front ranks, skewering soldiers cleanly above their pikes before they could brace or react. Shields splintered, lines shattered, and the careful formations of disciplined armies unraveled in seconds. Men who had stood firm against artillery fire found their courage falter at the sight of that black tide. Entire forces, tens of thousands strong, broke formation before the ravens even reached them, parting instinctively as if survival demanded it. And still, the riders came. For an instant, sunlight caught them, steel edges of their blades flickering like scattered stars against the void of their feathered cloaks. It was the only brightness they carried, and it made the darkness around it all the more terrible. But it was not only their speed or their brutality that broke armies. It was the way they moved. Like a group of starlings, the Raven Warriors did not hold formation in any conventional sense. They twisted and split apart mid-charge, breaking into flowing currents that seemed chaotic, yet never collided. One moment a solid wall, the next a scattering storm, only to regroup and strike again from an unexpected angle. As the Ottoman army faltered, they could not choose a target. No single rider could be tracked long enough to fire. Shots rang out wildly, swallowed by the motion, while the ravens slipped through volleys untouched. Then, they were among them. They drove through the enemy as though through mist, through pikes, through ranks, through men who scarcely had time to raise their weapons. Many would later swear the riders had passed without resistance, as if the battlefield itself had parted to let them through. When the charge ended, silence rarely followed. Instead, there was collapse. What remained of the enemy, those not fallen or trampled, turned and fled. Discipline vanished. Commanders shouted into the void, their voices lost as thousands abandoned formation, scattering in blind terror at the mere possibility of another pass. And the ravens always returned. In their final sweep, they showed no haste, no frenzy, only purpose. They hunted the stragglers, the wounded, the slow. Sabers rose and fell with methodical precision, ensuring that the message was unmistakable. Resistance was futile. Defiance was death. When at last they departed, they left no victory cries behind them, no claim of glory, only a field of ruin and the echo of wings where none had flown. And in courts far from the battlefield, rulers would give quiet thanks. and pray they would never have to face them.
There is a life worth living, far beyond the death and violence of the battlefield.
My brave little warrior. Please, let him stay and help raise our son.
At last, home.
One day this will all be yours to protect just as I have.